tell you that the Lord desires to say something to us. He desires for us not to be picked off like the enemy is desiring to do. And the devil uses trouble. The devil uses situations to try to get our focus and our attention off of God. But it's not for us to act as if we don't have a struggle, but it's for me to press into the struggle breaker. Yes, sir. It's for me to forget about all of this mess that's going on and to know that God is able. But Paul said, I want you to know this struggle. I want you to understand. I want to know this great struggle. What did he mean by struggle? Struggle means to strive. Struggle means to agonize, struggle, to wrestle. This is literally what the apostle is saying. The apostle is saying that I'm wrestling in prayer for the believers of the churches. Paul said, I'm wrestling, I'm struggling. Paul is saying, it's a struggle that you're facing that has birthed a struggle in me. Paul said there's the struggle that you're going through is a struggle that I'm facing. It reminds me of Brother Nehemiah whenever it was that the king asked him and said, Nehemiah, why you got that boot on your face? Nehemiah, why you upset? Why is your King James, why is your countenance wroth? Why are you looking like that, Nehemiah? And he said, how can I be okay whenever it is that all this stuff is going on in the world? Or what am I trying to tell you? How is the people of God and how are believers just going about business as usual, just happy to be off from work, just happy to be receiving a little something from the government, just happy just to be enjoying what's going on, and yet and still we're not feeling this struggle. Come on, a real child of God right now, you ought to be agonizing. A real child of God right now, we ought to be wrestling in prayer. It should be on the first thing on your mind, praying for our government. First thing on your mind, praying for our local authorities. First thing on your mind, praying for your local church and praying for the believer. And we ought to be struggling in prayer and wrestling in prayer and saying, God, we need you to do something. What am I trying to tell you? I'm trying to say we shouldn't just be chilling like a villain. We shouldn't be maxing and relaxing, styling and profiling. But no, we ought to be in a struggle. Come on. Is there anybody in here that understands that this is a struggle? Is there anybody here that knows that this thing won't turn until we turn down our plate? That this thing won't change until we change our habit? That this thing won't change until we get on our faith and we begin to cry out to God, to get between the porch and the altar and say, Lord, we're looking for you. We need you to move like never before. I told you a few weeks ago, a recipe for disaster. If my people, which are called by my name, if we will humble ourselves and pray, turn, seek his face. And he said, then he'll heal the land. We need God to heal. We need God to heal our land. Paul said, I'm in a struggle. I want to know, how is it that you've caught up on all your seasons of your favorite Netflix movie, but you ain't been struggling in prayer? I want to know, haven't you been home all this time and you haven't picked up that prayer journal, but you're not struggling, but you doing all the things that you desire? I want to know how you're struggling, how you doing what you're doing. God tried hard as he can. He'll shut the beach down. He'll shut the party down. He'll shut everything out so he can be able to get our attention. God said, I want you to wrestle in prayer. I want you to wrestle like Jacob. Jacob wrestled, and Jacob said, I'm not going to let you go, God, until you bless me.